So I have been always a seeker, or let's say, I always knew that I'm not different. I felt very different from other people in my town, and then when I moved, I still felt very different from other people. So I very soon, when I was 19, I moved to Mexico, and oh no, I don't know if I want to go into that. Yeah, let's say that my childhood was very difficult, and I faced a series of abuse, and um, I was a very sensitive being since very young age, and I felt very misunderstood, and I also went through sexual abuse when I was very young, and um, also when I was a little bit older. So I was carrying with myself a lot of traumatic experiences, which I compensated um, with just me being strong. Like, okay, I don't need anybody, I can do this on my own, and I'm gonna figure out what do I need to do in this world. And I know that I had this drive since I was young, because I was very good at school, but I didn't like anything that was being taught. Like, I was like, yeah, it's okay, but I know that there's something else that I have to do, and I don't know what it is. And that was basically that what really pushed me out into the world. I was very successful since I was young, with modeling and with go-go dancing, and eventually I imagine, due to actually the sexual abuse, I actually even ventured into being a stripper and being like working in the sexual industry, where I feel like, you know, this trauma just was even more knocking on the door. And as I was growing up, I felt strong pull towards shamanism and towards yoga and towards spiritual path, and I knew that this is the way, and I did a lot of meditation and I did a lot of journeys, and I spent time with shamans, and yes, everything was going well. And actually, eventually one day when I was 28, I found myself living in the nature in a beautiful place, with beautiful healer people, and I was pretty happy that I'm on the right path. But yet there was this one thing that was not working for me, and that was the sexuality. So even though I was teaching yoga every day, eating very healthy, I was living on the beach, I never wore shoes, I had beautiful friends, I did ceremonies, and yet the sexuality was not working for me. I had a bunch of men, usually the most sleazy men in the room that you would perceive would be the ones that they would feel like they can actually go and want something from me. And that was for me very not, I couldn't grasp on it, I couldn't understand what is happening. So what I decided is that I'm gonna go on a quest, and I decided to go on a celibacy, and I consciously decided not to make love to anyone, not even self-pleasure myself, for 7 months. And already within first month, I realized that something is strange, because my body started to get really like fat. I started to get really like big. My skin was irritated, and I was excessively agitated with people. I just couldn't deal with anyone. So I decided to investigate, and I figured out that the sexual energy is such a big power that when you decide not to actually release it, it takes so much more energy to actually hold it inside. And I happen to have a book, Jewel and the Lotus. This is the name of the book. And the practices of how to circulate your sexual energy within your body so you don't have to hold it, so you can fully use it, were there. And I realized that I had the key to actually what was my difficulty. And when I started to practice, I was amazed. I couldn't believe it. In 1 week, everything changed. I went back into being fully in my vital power, and the vibrations that I was emanating. Like, I started to suddenly have a very high vibrational friends. I mean, I was having a high vibrational, but like attractive lover friends. The thing that I couldn't achieve before. Um, So that was the start for me. I realized that there is a huge power in really being fully in connection with your sexual energy, and instead of holding it, just circulating it really gave me such a big insight. I started to receive downloads and wisdoms, and I started to feel my energy flowing through my whole body. The relationships changed. So that was the beginning. That was the beginning. And then the more I was practicing, the more I was actually receiving the knowledge and the understanding. And then, of course, it's a path. It's you start and then you have to keep going. Because, of course, until all your relationships are healed and until your dreams come true.